Hello Year 3, so I'm here today because I'm going to go through your fraction work. Now over the last few days we have been looking at equivalent fractions, where today it is comparing fractions. So equivalent fractions are looking for fractions that the value is the same. Comparing them is looking at the same and the difference, so that is what is different today. We're looking at what's similar and what is different. So your first task today is to shade the bar models to represent the fractions, and we've got the fractions over here. Now this is one I've done earlier and it's told me to shade in half, so I had to shade in one out of the two parts, the numerator and the denominator. The next one is 1/3, so it is one part out of the three that I need to shade, and I'm just going to do one part out of the three. Okay, and we can immediately see which fraction is bigger and which fraction is smaller by the size of the bar. So the whole bar is the same, but the parts it's been split into are different sizes. So over here, you can obviously carry these on. I'm not going to do this because the main focus I wanted to explain is a little bit over here. Because you need to use your more than or and less than signs to compare the fractions. So it says here, use the bar models to help you. I'm just going to look at the first one here. Now 1/2 and 1/3, I need to compare them. Now if I look over at my bar, this is my half, this is my third. So have a look and see which is the bigger part. Is it half? Is it third? Well, you can clearly see which one is bigger. Half is bigger, is greater than the third. So how am I going to show this using my more than and less than signs? Now, if you remember back to year 2, we always spoke about the crocodile mouse, and actually the crocodile likes to eat the bigger number. He's a nice and greedy crocodile. So which way is he going to face? Is he going to face towards the half or the third? Well, he's going to want to face towards the half because it's bigger than third. So you will need to carry this little activity on. Use the bar model like I've just shown you to compare the fractions. But the main reason why I've done this is your next task, which is activity 4, is to have a go at looking at the missing numerators and denominators. So over here, we are now working with fifths. So I need to keep that in my mind. I've actually got a spare piece of paper here because I'm going to need to do some drawing. Because it says, what could the missing numerators and denominators be? Give 3 examples. So not 1, 3. This is all question A here. This is all question B here. So let's take a look at question A. Now it's saying 1/5. Now have a look at which way round my sign is going. Is it facing towards the fifth or facing towards the missing part? Well, the greater than sign is facing over here. So actually this fraction needs to be bigger than over here. If we're dealing with fifths, I'm actually going to draw out a bar model, and I'm going to split it into how many parts if I'm looking at fifths? Well, it's got to be 5. So I'm going to split it in. Don't worry if it's not quite, I know we always talk about equal parts, but don't worry if it's not completely accurate. So I'm going to represent this one first, 1/5. 1/5 is there. Now I need to find a fraction that is going to be bigger than 1/5, but my denominator is still fifths, so it's 5 parts. I'm going to draw a bar underneath so I can just compare, which is what we're looking at today, the fractions. So I'm going to split them into 5 equal parts, make sure they line up nicely with the top part, and I need to now think of a fraction in fifths that is bigger than 1/5, because that's what this sign is telling us to do. Well, I'm actually going to shade 2, and you can clearly see that 2/5 is bigger than 1/5. So I'd write in here 2/5. And you would then carry on using the same method as what I have done here. I'm just going to show you B very quickly because there's a slight twist in here. Now we've still got fifths, we've still got our greater than sign facing towards something over here, but this time we haven't been told how many parts to split our bar into. So I'm going to always start off with what I know, 1/5. That's a really useful bit of information. So 5 equal parts, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to shade one of them in because it's 1/5. But I need to look at what this part is going to be. So I'm still going to draw my bar. It's always an important thing to do. But I have a choice on how many parts I can split it into. I could split it into 2 parts for half. I could split it into 3 parts for thirds. I think I'm going to start splitting it in half. So if I shade in, it's telling me to shade in one of the parts. And is that correct? Is 1/2 more than 1/5? Well, you can see the part on the 1/2 is actually bigger than the 1/5. So I could now fill in, because it's 2 parts there, that I've got in total 1/2. And now it's over to you, Year 3. I wonder what other, if you carried this on, how else you could split your bar to make it more than 1/5. So there you have it, Year 3s. Enjoy fractions, and I'll see you on another how-to video. Bye-bye.